Good morning. My name is Natalia Secato Mulinari, and for my service learning project, I decided to support Brasa USF, journeying in service and social impact. The reason why I chose to work with Brasa is because as an international student, I know how important it is to feel supported and connected. Here, we are like so lonely sometimes, and it's difficult to adapt. So this project was a way for me to give back to the community that helped me to feel home at USAF and throughout my journey. Well, initial expectations versus like reality. Some of the things that I expected at first that was going to be the service was like a lot of volunteer tasks and resume experience, but it was way beyond than this. The reality was that this was a very deep personal growth and meaningful involvement for me, not only within like people around me, like all students, but for myself as well. Some example of this was like mentorship that I was able to help students run club participation, clothing drives. So there was a lot of different aspect which allowed me to see this experience in a different eye. So it was very important and special to me. Some of the applied skills, so I divide into two. So the soft and hard skills. Soft skills would be like everything that comes from planning, creativity, and most importantly, the emotional support. So that's something that I know that I was able to at least show to students that I am there for them and that Braza goes really beyond and like just a nice organization. The reason why people there is a reason behind like people are gathering for them to feel home, for them to be heard, and so on. And some of the hard skills, I would say, it was like organization. So there's was a lot of like organization behind the scenes, direction, and most importantly, communication as well. Um, well, my contribution to Braza itself, I feel that contributed to a more proactive organization presence by like attending to events and actively showcasing the group goals and values. Some of the volunteers as MNT, as I mentioned, offering like guidance and support to fellow students in their career and development. So I was able to be a mentee for some of freshmen. So they were as expected. They were kind of lost and wanted just to understand like how they supposed to see the future ahead. And I helped them like with my poor experience as a soon future graduate. So it was very nice this share of information. Also, I learned a lot from them. So that was the one of the things that I liked it the most. And last but not least, foster a welcoming environment for all international students, ensuring that they feel included, as I mentioned, and supported. Coming from the mission and vision evolution, the initial mission actually was basically to support Brazilian students through events and mentorship. The final mission, however, I added some more like cultural exchange, academic, and emotional support, as I previously mentioned, and this more like community building, this instead of only like volunteering and like doing like tasks. And in the relation to vision was more like supportive space for culture at USF. That's what I thought was gonna be first. So then my final vision was to inspire global leadership and cultural pride by creating inclusive space for students to thrive. So even though my major is marketing, I feel that I'm a very people person. I love to communicate, I love to help, and this made me feel and literally realize some things that I would like to follow in my future career as well. To be like in contact with people, feel the warmth, feel the emotion, and be able to help them in whatever they need. Expanding diversity and inclusion. So some of the things that we did was like collaborate with other coach organizations as well, host joint events, mentorship mixers, as I previously mentioned, offer language and coder workshops to all students at USF, but mainly focused to Brazilian, right? And the ethical and challenge leadership. So the challenge was limited resources, avoiding bias and financial transparency. And the ethical leadership would be like to lead with empathy, fairness, and accountability. So everything we did was to try to be like most respectful and fair as we could. This picture was like me and the other volunteers presenting for some fellow sophomore and freshmen, some idea of like resume, some tips to follow their career, their next masters, and it was really nice. Last but not least, some takeaways and impact. So I gained skills in marketing, communication, and strategy as well. So even though like the idea was not to be related to my major, but I was able to also take some of the knowledge acquired throughout my years here and develop. I helped Braza grow while growing personally as well. So this was my top one things that I liked the most was me be able to share but also gain love knowledge. And finally, I learned to power of service and building inclusive communities. So I see Braza as a very respectful organization and something I admire a lot, and I feel that could continue for like future years because it helped me and I was able to help them. So it was this exchange. And thank you very much. Hope you like it.